Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass the Move. And for today's episode, we finally have for you here the European Championship. Now I know it's been a little bit of a while, but yeah, it's been in the year 2020 now, finally in the Euros, and as expected, we did qualify from the qualification group. So that's why I didn't show you the rest of the games. They really weren't of any type of significance. We just breezed past. As you can see, we won every single game. We kept a clean sheet in every single one of them as well, and we just broke incredible records. And thankfully, it was just a really good, qualification campaign. We got the 30 points, of course, and Macedonia are the team who qualified with us. And Czech Republic having a shocker there. But either way, we did qualify, and so I had to breeze through some time for a while, play a couple of friendlies, and finally we've come to the European Championship now here in the group stages with Bosnia, Austria and Ireland. We should qualify comfortably, possibly with either of Austria, Bosnia or even Ireland actually. They're all kind of the same level, but either way we should qualify. That's the expectation. The expectation actually from the board though is that we reach the quarter-final. So I just noticed now that Austria and Ireland have played and Austria have won that game, so onus is on us to try and perform today. So we'll show you back-to-back games, Bosnia and Austria. If we feel the need that Ireland, we have to show you that game, we will show it to you as well, but the likelihood is we want to avoid showing you 3 games in one go, But yeah, so nothing really to update you on. I'm not sure you really care about these score lines here and who scored. The point is we won. So we'll just show you who we called up for this national, this international tournament. Huge tournament, of course, for us. 2020 now. We played the World Cup, we played the International League, which didn't really matter to us too much, but this is another top international tournament. So Butland, Hart and Forster all get the nod. Pickford, he played decently and a lot of game time, and finally back in the Premier League, but unfortunately for him, his Reading team hasn't performed too well. They are getting relegated this season. Unless he moves on, he'll be back in the Championship. Forster though, playing with Southampton, they did really well in the league. It would have been unfair to him to pick someone else. Tom Heaton still in the Championship with Burnley, and actually let's find out if he's got promoted. So is he back in the Premier League? That's the question. No, he isn't. Burnley. Wait, did we say Burnley? Oh yeah, Burnley. There you go, 9th. Alright, so yeah, that's us in the goalkeeper department. In terms of the left-back spots, Luke Shaw and Danny Rose still dominating that position. Josh Timman, I'd love to call up eventually. He has played a decent amount of time, but not enough. Considering he's a key player for West Brom, it's a bit surprising for him to only start 15 games of the 38-game season. And the only other competition is Ryan Bertrand, who's done decently, and he's just a bit unfortunate to miss out to Danny Rose, who is of course with Tottenham, a little bit of a bigger team and who have performed better in the league. If 2 players are performing just as equally as well as each other and have just about the same game time, then it just makes sense to pick the one who's helped their team climb further up the table. So in terms of the right back though, it is Klein and Walker again who get the nod. John Flanagan very close to being called up. We did have him in the preliminary squad, but he also suffers with his team Southampton instead of Kyle Walker's Tottenham. He has performed well though, and he's really unfortunate to miss out. The fact that he's only got 1 cap was a bit of a concern for us too, so we thought we would go for experience. 30 years old Kyle Walker, 39 caps. He should be able to deal with this type of pressure. And at the end of the day, he's just a backup as Klein, who's getting most of the game time. How old is Klein? Oh damn, he's already 29. I thought he was younger than that. Anyways, centre backs, John Stones, Smalling, Steve Cook and Shawcross were the ones who got the nods. Of course, the other centre backs who've been experimenting with lately who could have gotten a nod, the likes of Alfie Jones here. He's gotten 1 cap to his name and 1 goal as well in his debut. But yeah, he had a great season for Southampton as well. Average rating not too great, but he is playing a lot of game time, and that's enough to convince us to have called him up for the preliminary squad. Let's see who else was in serious consideration. I think that's it. There was 1 more player, but I can't seem to find them. But either way, Smalling was a free agent, but he got signed by Celtic, and he's played 21 games. I don't know how many games they are playing because I can't really check that like the Premier League. But I thought he's been in incredible form for them, and despite him being in a slightly weaker league, it just kind of makes sense to pick him over Alfie Jones. He also got the experience factor, in his favour. Michael Keane still not getting enough game time, would have loved to pick him, and Jones also slightly, well actually not slightly missing out, he's also struggling with game time, but he should be out of contract with Manchester United. So it'll be interesting to see who will move on to. In terms of defensive midfield and attacking midfield, we've gone with Dyer, Ali, Henderson, Cook, Ward-Prowse, Ben Pearson, Lingard and Lallana. Now this is where it's something I've kind of juggled with for ages, struggled to pick, and I've eventually decided to go with Dele Alli despite having a torn hamstring before the tournament. It was very close. But we could still technically call him up in case we get into the quarterfinals or anything like that. You know, he's available for the international period, but probably for the end of it, if we even get that far. But I thought if we do get that far, we really do want to play off his quality. And I might regret that decision, but what helped me in that decision is that there's no one else who's in his, his level for me to seriously consider. And at the same time, the other players below him in midfield aren't really getting much game time. That's why Lewis Cook, Ward-Prowse, Ben Pearson, Lingard, they're all getting called up because of that reason, and Lallana as well. They are getting enough game time to get called up, but they're not performing necessarily that well, or starting all of their team's games, for example. That's why it's the likes of Raheem Sterling and Danny Drinkwater miss out. But yeah, in the friendlies that you guys saw in the schedule here, I experimented, not with these two, with the Spain and Italy one. I experimented with a 4-4-2, a flat one, not the 4-1-2-1-2 we're playing right now. And it really didn't work out. I switched to a 4-4-2, played with target man approach, suited Kane a little bit more, but unfortunately we just couldn't get the result. It's actually, we started with Spain, they scored their first goal there, and then after half time I decided, nope, let me switch back to a tactic that we're comfortable with. And Luke Shaw and Troy Deeney also, managing to turn it around after that. So it was great. And Munir also scored, but Dele Alli got the winner, and that's pretty much proof of it. The other friendlies though didn't go as well, and I'm hoping that the players will put that behind them. In terms of strikers though, it's straightforward with Kane and Rashford. The backups are the ones who are fighting it out, and Troy Deeney, Berahino won it over from Wilson and Vardy. Vardy's played plenty of games, but unfortunately for him, he's had a bit of a quiet season, 26 starts and just 10 goals in the Premier League. Wilson, he's played a bit of a more solid average rating, 12 goals to his 29 appearances and 2 assists. That's a decent run out, but Troy Deeney was in incredible form. He's gotten a 7.16 average rating, 18 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League for Everton. And Berahino also managing to edge up because he's got more caps and he's also scored more international goals in comparison to his competitor Wilson, so they've been picked as well. So that's our team for the tournament, and I think we can kick off with today's game. Hopefully, try and move things a little bit quicker. This is the starting 11 we're going to be going for. Lallana was the backup to Dele Alli, so he starts there. Henderson in his box-to-box midfielder role. Dyer there. Stones and Shawcross will be our main central defence pairing. Shaw and Klein as always, and Kane and Rashford as always as well. It's a bit of a solid start, solid team, and Hart as well. A bit of a transitional team, I suppose, but we've got some key players in there who can make the difference for us. The question is, of course, will they make the difference for us? So we'll kick off against Bosnia, and I would expect us to be favourites. Bosnia are a team on the rise. The national team have been doing well in recent times in real life, I suppose. But yeah, the year is 2020, and would we, be facing a much stronger Bosnia? There is of course the possibility that we will, drop points or whatever, because, it's football, you can always drop points against anyone. So we'll have to stay concentrated, we'll have to put behind us the recent friendly fixtures, and hopefully just perform, get the 3 points that are needed. And this is an international tournament, so there's very high expectations, of course. The least we need to do is get into the quarterfinal, and I would expect that from us qualifying from the group. I don't think there's a round of 16 in the Euros, if I'm not mistaken. I always forget which competition has what, but I'm pretty sure the Euros don't. So I would us to qualify from this group. There's 2 spots from the qualifying, so I would expect us to be there. Kane though, early, there you go, 5 minutes, England 1, Bosnia 0, and it is Harry Kane of all people who scored. And I say that because I actually had a look at Harry Kane's record, and I'll show you now, well, after this highlight. Bosnia responding by going immediately into attacking formation, so it would not surprise me if they managed to score from this somehow. My defense have been horrible recently. After those 10 clean sheets in a row, they've just fallen apart in recent games. But yeah, I'll show you about Harry Kane in just a second. I noticed that he hasn't scored as many goals as he has in real life, despite his caps. I would expect him to pull ahead, but that hasn't really happened, and he actually assists more than he does score. And the logic behind that is, of course, that he's playing on a support role, which I kind of understand. But from a complete forward, I would expect a little bit more. 48 caps, 15 goals. Not too happy about that, to be honest. Rashford, though, for comparison, 13 caps, 10 goals, and that's just because he's on an attacking role more often. Anyways, Lingard with a chance to score from his free kick, and that is an incredible goal, proving his worth in attacking midfield. Before the tournament started, he was on 3 stars ability, but when you have international fixture, when you're managing an international team, your players' abilities switch around so often that it's tough to really, try and be solid. I guess it's because of the game time and how well they perform, their form and whatnot, that does change a little bit. It's also because the ability of the national team shifts all the time. Rashford there's missed an incredible chance. But yeah, because of the national team's ability shifting all the time, I think we've risen up to about the 8th in the world. We're really destroying Bosnia on the counter-attack. I mean, I know we're playing on the counter, but we never really counter in this kind of manner. Kane, Henderson, oh, unlucky there, but Kane makes up for Henderson's mistake, I guess. And there you go, England 3, Bosnia 0, and what an incredible start to our European Championship. And I'd expect us to cruise the rest of the game, but Bosnia look to have made up their mind that they want to try and do something here. They have looked relatively dangerous. We just keep hitting them on the counter, really, but they are actually dominating the game, I guess. Then again, I'm looking at possession, it's 50-50. Maybe I've, just talking bollocks, basically. But anyways, Lallana to Lingard, Dyer, Shaw. Can he put good ball into the box? Kind of a shot, but Rashford steals it from Begovic, and somehow that's not a foul. Not sure how it wasn't. I guess Begovic must have, slipped his fingers or something. And again, there's a highlight straight from kickoff. How many goals are we going to score in this game? Guys, we want to watch the next game as well. Please stop scoring and let's just kill out the rest of this game, please. I don't know, I've forgotten what I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, oh, what a goal that is. Is he not offside? I don't know. Either way, perfect opportunity for me to remind my players to stay concentrated. Yeah, so Kane, he scored 2 goals today, and he is a main man for us. He's got some decent assists, but I would, even though he's on a support role, I would expect more, just because you're on a complete forward support. If you're a deep line forward support, first of all, I would expect more assists anyways, but I would expect more goals. You're a striker at the end of the day. That's kind of your responsibility, I suppose. Shaw had time to pick out Kane, and Kane couldn't make the most of that though, so it is Bosnia who try to hit on the counter, but Lingard's gotten the ball here. Lallana, long range shot, bit poor from Lallana. But yeah, this friendlies experiment I did really failed horribly. I don't know what's with me or with my team. Whenever I try and make a direct, I've noticed this, by the way, if you've watched any of the videos where I make suggestions about not which team to play with, but the tactics for whatever team. I've covered about the top 5 leagues in Europe, I think. I would say always avoid my suggestion of the direct style play. I created 2 tactics, possession based. Okay, and there you go. 5-1 is that, or is that 6-1? It's 5-1. Yeah, Kane. No, not Kane. What am I talking about? Good God, my memory's horrible. I'm too busy watching the game as well. Yeah, so I had possession-based tactics and direct style, tactics. I had 2 suggestions for you guys, and I would always recommend sticking with the possession one. I only realized this now, which is why I can't go back and change the videos or whatever. If I knew at the time, I would only ever suggest possession-based tactics. I would never have suggested direct ones. But I just realized that I suck at making a direct style of play tactic. I don't know what it is. I've tried the whole target man poacher role, play roles, I suppose. I've even followed the what was the name called, players and roles, something like that. That PDF that you can download online, you can even probably find it in the community, Sega community thing. And he's got a bunch of tactics ready made for you if you want to pick them. It's not instructions, it's literally just a player role. So I followed that role as well as the formation and everything. I did it, you know, to the T basically, and for some reason it just doesn't work. I even tried the same tactical instructions that he suggested, not the ones that he, you know, says this is what you need to do with this formation, whatever. But there are a couple of, you know, instructions, kind of like me, where he just suggested them. So I did try those out as well, and even then it wouldn't work. So I don't know, I just happen to suck with direct style of play tactics, and I think a lot of it has to come down to that when I play with a target man, and then I put, you know, play more directly, then the players are just knocking the ball forwards like idiots, like just kicking it forward to the target man, hoping for the best. So we do really poorly. Ben Pearson getting his first goal for England. And the assist from Rashford was delightful, like the commentator says, but really 7-1. I mean, I hope this goal difference comes in handy, because otherwise we've destroyed Bosnia and I'm actually feeling bad. But yeah, I would just say, if you ever watch any of those videos, just avoid using the direct style play, because my tactics in those section never works. Just stick to possession ones. I always suggest with each team 2 different tactics, just to give you guys options. So yeah, just go with possession one, and that's kind of partly the reason why I went for the 4-1-2-1-2 with England, because I realized that that we need to play with 2 strikers, because we have, you know, an abundance in strikers, and I realized we have plenty of midfielders as well. And I thought, you know, I want to play the 4-4-2, but I can't make it work. So let me play the variation, or the alternative to the 4-4-2, which is the diamond 4-4-2, and you know, just play a possession-based tactic and hope it works. And it did. I mean, we had some great performances against the likes of Germany, where we beat them like 6-2. I'm going to keep bringing that up for the rest of my life, by the way, because that's just an incredible game. But yeah, I mean, you just saw it in the works against Bosnia 7-1. Of course, we were favourites for that game, but 7-1, I mean, come on. And yeah, so I just realized possession-based tactics are the ones that work for me. They just happen to work more. I don't know whether it's Match Engine or if it's just me. If anyone's got any, you know, proof, please do show me, because I just never get it to work. I would love to play, you know, with a higher tempo and more direct. I love that type of football as well, hitting the team on the counter-attack and whatnot. But I just found over the years of playing Football Manager, lower tempo, shorter passing, more expressive, and run from positions is just great for possession-based tactic. But you know, I want to try tactics where I can play directly as well. That'd be great. I mean, if it could work. There's so many teams that I get into that I would realize, oh, they would be much more suited for direct style play, but I just can't get the tactics right, and they always seem to fail when, you know, when I use it. So I have to come up with some, you know, possession-based alternative to that tactic, even though the formation would suit them more as well. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of my dilemma. But we are coming up to the Austria game here, and it was just 2 days, so I figured I'll skip it with you guys watching. You can see me pick the team as well, and if we show the Ireland game, I don't know, it depends on how fast it'll sim. If I feel like it's taking a bit long, then I'll just, you know, cut, I guess, or edit, whatever. But anyways, so as you can see, almost everyone in our team is tired, despite me trying to rest some players, but Lingard is the only match fit player. So we'll completely switch this team around. So Klein for Walker, Shaw, Rose for Shaw, Stones, we'll take him off for Cook, Smalling on, and rotation is really key. Don't want to rotate too much, but we did just have a 2-day rest. When it comes to Ireland, we can obviously switch back again, and the likelihood is that last game is going to be more important anyways, but depends on how we perform against Austria first. So Lallana's supposed to come off for Dele Alli now, but because he's injured, we'll bring on James Ward-Prowse, who we actually brought on for advanced playmaker. So Lingard hopefully will hold on. But anyways, Troy Deeney on the support role and Berahino on the advanced forward role will be great, and both suited to those roles anyways. There you go, let's kick off against Austria. So let's see, I would expect David Alaba to be playing. But yeah, let's see if he's still with the international team. I don't know what his age would be in the game yet. There you go, he's here anyways. 27. How young is David Alaba? It's 2020, he's still 27? I didn't know he's that young in real life. The way he's been around for ages makes me feel like, I mean, look how many seasons he's been around for. Good God. Yeah, so the match analysis, Matt Story from Sporting Life, he predicts that we would only come out with a 1-0 win. Considering how we played against Bosnia, I would hope that we could carry that on, and that's exactly what I'm going to tell my players here. So can we do the same against Austria, please? So yeah, if we do beat Austria, that means there's no need for me to show you the Ireland game, because that would mean that we have qualified already. I think anyways, pretty sure the mathematics of it is that. But yeah, if we don't win, then maybe I'll show you back, 3 games in 1 episode, but we'll see how long the episode goes on. I don't really like the episodes going over 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes, anything around that time. I just don't really like it. I prefer to keep my episodes short and sweet. 10 to 15 minutes is great. Streaming is a different thing entirely, but these are just episodes, so I like to keep them nice and short. But anyways, Dini on the counter finds Ben Pearson. Ben Pearson on the box-to-box midfielder finds Ward-Prowse. Lingard, Pearson just passing it around for possession's sake. But can we make the big breakthrough with this B team? Ward-Prowse, come on, you got something to prove, Ward-Prowse. Oh, he's just playing square passes. Come on, there you go, Dini finds Walker. Great ball into the box, please. What on earth happened there? Was that Berahino? Either way, we got the corner, and Austria looked in all types of trouble there for a moment. Can we score from the corner though? Nope, but instead Austria are hitting us on the counter, and thankfully Walker's there to deal with it, but they're coming away with this, and that's the end of the highlight. And great, Lingard's got on a stubbed toe. I wanted to avoid using him by all means, or by trying to avoid subbing him as long as possible. But with him with this injury, I'm gonna have to take him off at half time without a doubt, because I don't think they'll be able to patch him up. It's not really like FIFA. If you get a knock, it won't show the injury symbol, but then when it shows the injury symbol, that's it. Long range score? Nope. Cook deals with it well, thankfully. And Rose on the counter. Berahino all the way. Come on, Solo. Play it square. Ah, selfish. Either way. Maybe he heard me saying all the way and thought I was telling him to be selfish, and then when I said square, he got confused and just shot anyways. But either way, Dini. Oh, come on, boys. Statistically, we're equal to Austria, but I would say we've had the better chances, so... but I still will push up to control in just a moment's time, because we need the result more than Austria do. If they come away with a draw, they're happy, which is why they're playing on the defensive 4-2-2-2. But we don't want that at all. We want to come away with the 3 points so we can qualify early. But yeah, Lingard's tired, so we'll move Ward-Prowse there and bring on Lallana once again. I'm sorry, Lallana, but we're going to have to push you to your limits. And I think I can tell my players off here. Okay, let's see. They're fired up. Can they turn that fire into goals? Walker. Ward-Prowse. Lallana. Pearson through to Dini, who finds Walker. Good ball to the box, please. I chose you over Flanagan, damn it, Walker. But yeah, after that first half, we haven't created, I guess, any clear-cut chances or half chances. If you want to, go by the means of the game, but when you watch it, you know what's a chance and what's not a chance, because sometimes the game doesn't even consider some clear-cut chances to be clear-cut chances. But when you're watching football, real life football, forget the game itself, you would be screaming at a player for not scoring a goal like that. So yeah, it looks like we've just got 2 subs left, and it is Cook and Henderson who are tired. That's not the best of players. You know what, I'll switch around Dini and Berahino. Just take off Cook anyways for Dyer. We need to try and keep some players fresh. It's going to be a long tournament. And even though we've made some, I wouldn't expect these 2 subs to change the game entirely. I would expect us to finally break through just based on our tactics. And hopefully the switch between Berahino and Dini might actually help us. Berahino playing a complete forward support role, he can do that as well. Dini can also play as an advanced forward. But I don't know. Should I go into all out? I'm going to go into overload now, but Austria have threatened us a bit, so I'm hoping they don't just score on the counter, which is kind of their plan. Gonna regret this. Yep, I'm gonna regret this. Oh god. I knew I was gonna regret this. Why did I do this? Please win the ball back. Come on. If I'm dominating, I should do overload, but we weren't. Okay, there you go. Relief. Suddenly everything switched. What pass to Dini? And he's missed it. Come on. I guess Austria's game plan worked and they've come away with a draw. So this would mean, normally would mean that would show you the Ireland game, but I'll be honest guys, I'm sorry, despite what I said in the beginning, it have hit the 25-minute mark, so I would rather just show you the Ireland game in tomorrow's episode. Stick around, there definitely will be an episode tomorrow, and obviously this wasn't acceptable for my England team. But yeah, 4 points each. Complicated things for ourselves, and we're going to face Ireland. If they beat Bosnia, it'll be an Ireland going all out attack. They'll be going nuts. So we've complicated things for ourselves a little bit, but we still are in the competition, which is what matters in the end of the day. And we do have to face probably the weakest team in the group, so I wouldn't be too worried. Anyways, that will be all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then please do hit the like button and subscribe for more Daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always guys, thank you all for watching.